It's been a while. Be back out here, but I was actually just a couple things. I was looking through my videos, scheduled videos that I'm working on right now. I have a lot of home show BTS stuff, Gymnics home show, the gymnastics team up here at the school. It's gonna be really cool stuff. I got about 8 videos that I'm working on in the pipeline for that, and I missed one. One of them was last Saturday, which is probably the day that I wish I had the camera most for reasons I'll tell you in just a little bit. But also, it's kind of funny where the day is when perhaps your mind is in another place. You kind of forget to take the camera, and it is what it is. But I say all of this in conjunction with the last video that I posted yesterday, last night, about kind of the struggles that me and my family have been dealing with when it comes to my mom and her mental health issue. And, you know, coming back to this video that I forgot the camera for, coming back to this day I forgot the camera for, it was the day for our home show performance. And this day was pretty significant because my brother and his family, his wife, and my nieces, Jubilee and Holly, they were able to come up here, as long as my homie, longtime friend from Chicago. We were in undergrad together at Southern years ago. Marcus, him, his wife, and his kids came through as well. So it was super dope because I had my people actually come up to Michigan for the first time since I've been here, really, in 5 years. And when I think about kind of the day and the flow and what we were able to do, I wish I would have had my camera there to record it just for the sake of memories. I got a lot of cool pictures, but I agree with my shout out to my guy Tyler out in Washington State. Now it is Washington State. That videos are better than pics. So 100%, I wish that I would have taken more video and had my camera there to do that instead of just taking the pictures. I love my family. I love my friends. And for them to be up here in Michigan, even with the relationships that I've been able to build here, it's different when it's family who comes through and gets to be a part of your experience. It just changes the game. And to have them here to share something like the gymnastics home show with me, to come and check out the show, to perform for them, was absolutely amazing. And just to spend time with them and hang with them without me having to drive a couple hours over to Chicago or get several hours down the road to Tennessee, it was amazing. It was amazing. We spent some time out at the beach, out the beach. I use those words lightly because it's still Michigan. We were out at Lake Michigan, just playing in the sand and in the water with the girls, getting some food. I had my friend out there with me as well, meeting my fam, and it was just good times, a really good vibe. And getting to the show when Marcus and his family were able to get there, and just being around multiple of my guys at once, and to see all the kids kind of playing together, spending some time jumping around on the trampolines and just running around on the mats. It was just a good time. And again, I wish I had a lot of this recorded, but the point of this video really comes to the intersecting of loving my family, being able to catch up with them, but also my mom, and kind of how that aspect of our family impacts the family. I was talking with my brother at the beach when we were out there earlier in the day, and it's like, I'm not trying to sound bad or whatever, like, I don't even know, but I guess what's hard for me to wrap my mind around is that when it comes to medications and things that you have to deal with, there's a lot of normalcy. Shout out to doctors and people who develop these things. There's a lot of normalcy that you can achieve that may not be what you're 100% used to. You may not be at 100% of your own autonomy as you were before an injury or some kind of medical issue that has you reliant on, let's say, something like a wheelchair, crutches, or medicine of some kind. But I would think that the trade-off of the normalcy that you get from these things makes it worth the sacrifice of not being at 100%. I've broken an arm before, so I've had to walk around with a cast for several weeks. That's different. It's not something where you have to stick with this thing for the rest of your life to achieve normalcy. You heal and you kind of move on. So it's different, and I understand that. But when I look at the big picture, and again, like I said, I'm obviously looking at this from my perspective, and maybe not my mom's, and maybe not anybody else's. And so I guess the irony is that maybe I'm being a little bit selfish in my take on this. I fully admit that. But it just seems to me that if you could have 90% autonomy with a little bit, that 10% give or take of the inconvenience of the thing that's given you the 90% normalcy, it feels like it would be selfish to not embrace that. And so this is my struggle with it, because I know that given the spiritual context and kind of the messaging that's typical when it comes to mental health and issues of the mind in a lot of conservative spiritual circles, that medication is something that is an indicator. Not only is a mental issue an indicator of your lack of completeness, not as just a human, but as a Christian, it's also a mark of like your sin and just how like you're cursed because of A, B, and C. But on the other end, taking the medication just furthers that. So it's like you're already in a bad position. And I'm talking specifically from the context of religious people who have this particular view of mental health. You're already viewed as a disadvantage and as less than because you're dealing with the mental issue. But now you're viewed as not good enough and even more of a sinner to a degree, even less than because you're taking the medications to try to achieve some kind of normalcy. Because, well, you don't have faith enough. If you just believed more, then you'd be okay. And it's this line of thinking that I think sets people up for failure and struggle. And I think it's this line of thinking that's really put my family largely in the position that it's been the last several years. I'm talking last 10 to 15 years, where it's like it's too difficult to accept the thing that is helping you achieve that 90% of normalcy because of the stigma and kind of all the messaging around that 10% that you're doing to help get you there. And that to me seems a little selfish. This is April, halfway through April, and it was just over Christmas break, not that long ago, where I was down in Tennessee and Georgia with my family, parents. My sister was there, my brother, his fam, and it was like a dream. It was like the moment that I would have envisioned being with my family to be like. That was it. And to have that little moment in time. And this is what makes, I was talking about video earlier, and I'm actually really mad about it now that I think about it again. I had taken a lot of videos of that time, specifically because I wanted to remember those moments, and I lost the damn memory card. So I'm very upset about that. I'm extremely upset about that. But it's like you have those moments that are so pure. You get to see the interaction between family, and we were talking about, me and my brother were talking about how Holly's favorite person is my mom. And I could see that, and I have video of that over the Christmas break of them just interacting, and it was just, I just love to see it, you know? And my brother's in a position, it's tough, where he doesn't feel as comfortable, and rightfully so, with the girls being around my mom when things are like this, because things get so intense and potentially unsafe. I could tell you stories, but it's like I can't be mad at him for doing that. But when I think of how might Holly be feeling about this, that's her favorite person that she doesn't get to hang around with because of these things that are out of her control, but that may be in the other person's control. And it feels like to me that Holly doesn't matter enough for my mom to change her perspective, perhaps, on medication and what it means and what normalcy looks like. Because at the end of the day, my brother helped me with this perspective as well. It comes down to the greatest resource, which is not money, but time. And you can always get more money. You can always achieve more wealth. You can lose it all and you can gain it all just as quickly, so to speak, right? But time, no matter how good of a time you're having or how bad of a time you're having, the clock is always ticking. My parents are not young right now. I don't anticipate any of us living forever, but I think it'd be awesome if my nieces could really get to experience more of my mom and our parents, like, you know what I'm saying? And this thing, this issue, it's robbing us of time. And I hate that. And I will say it definitely makes me a little bit more intentional about making sure that I'm around the family and around them for their growing up experience and being more present. But it's like, man, and like I said, maybe the fact that it's just gone on for so long just makes me question things about, well, it has made me question things about spirituality, about God, about my mom, and just a lot of different things. So that's something that I have to work through. And that's my growing edge. But I guess all of that to say, you know, time, for as valuable of a resource as it is, it might be one of the things that we take for granted the most. The assumption that I'm going to wake up tomorrow. The assumption that I'll be able to see that person again next time I go there. You may never get a chance to go back. We can't afford to say, well, I've got tomorrow or I have the next moment. If you have those things or those people who are special in your life, you need to make the most of those today. And if there are perspectives that are keeping you and keeping others from embracing and loving on the people around you, then at whatever cost, those have to change. And I don't know how I can contribute positively to that change. As far as my mom, I think that we have to do a better job showing her that, at least in my opinion, that, and this might sound really bad, but I'm gonna say it, like, at least in my opinion, I think that the time spent being able to embrace and appreciate your grandkids is more important than being right when it comes to that perspective of medical assistance when it comes to dealing with a mental health issue. That's just me. I'm being honest. And I don't know. I don't know how we do that. I don't know how we accomplish that, but I just feel like it'd be worth it, especially for the sake of the girls, man. But yeah, it was both the highest of highs of a weekend having them here, but it was also a bit of a struggle. Just it was good to talk about it for sure with my brother, and yeah, just other things to think about. But yeah, if anything, time is the resource. Make the most of it. because it's not guaranteed, and you don't have indefinite ability to obtain it. In fact, it's always counting down from the moment you come into this world, whether it feels like it or not. So make the most of what you have. And I'm going to learn how to do that given the circumstances and the situation. It's not going to be easy, but I have to, because it's not just Holly's time and Jubilee's time with my mom that is running out, so to speak, but it's mine and my brothers and my sisters too, and my dad's too, and all of her friends too. So we have to find a way to make that matter. I don't know. But yeah. Anyways, I'll catch you in another one. Peace.